Hey, how's it going, guys? CEO Will Mirror back with another video, man. I know I haven't posted on this platform in a very long time, man, and I apologize. Honestly, I'm not even really sorry about it, man. I've been enjoying my life, man. I've been living out my personal dreams. I've been hanging out with my family. We got a brand new boat. I've been learning how to drive a boat. Nobody in my family has a boat. I got a boat now, so I've been learning how to drive a boat, park a boat. I've been learning about the water. I have no idea about the river and channels and so on and so forth. And, I just really been focusing on just continuing to improve my life, man, and allowing God to just guide me and take me on this journey of life, man, and continue to bless me and to continue to bless, my family, my daughters and my wife, man. First and foremost, man, I am not a professional. I am no guru. I am just a 30-year-old kid. I like to still think of myself as some form of a kid who came from a background that in some people's eyes was designed to consume me and keep me there. And some way, somehow, through Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, man, I made it. And I just want to share that with you guys. Like, I'm not going to be on here being like some super YouTuber or try to pretend like I'm better than you guys or I know some secret knowledge. I am just a kid, man, who just really, 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 really wanted it for myself. And I found a way, and people found their way in my life to help me on my journey. There are so many people that I could just list off, man, that really came into my life right when I needed them and help propel me to where I'm at right now, man. I don't like talking in front of a camera. I hate it. Even though I built YouTube brands, even though I've contributed towards building Instagram brands, some very big Instagram brands that you guys know about today, I don't like the camera. Even though I own I sold it, but even though I own a digital marketing company, I don't like doing this. At least historically, I haven't found comfort in doing this because for whatever reason, every time I get in front of a camera, I get all nervous, I get all shy. I start comparing myself to other great YouTubers or content and so on and so forth. But I have a passion for helping people. I have a passion for talking, and I have a passion for creating. And this is something that I've always wanted to do. It's just I haven't had the courage to consistently do it. Even though you're going to look at my old previous videos and I'm getting 30,000 views, so one video almost made it to 100,000, and I grew this platform to 7,000 subscribers. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun. But after overcoming it, I felt better because I felt like I gave a piece of myself to the world. Identity-wise on this platform, obviously, I've kind of been, even though I've been finding success, God has just been blessing me on this platform for whatever reason. I mean, obviously there's things that I know that help propel me, but still, I really didn't have like a exact identity. But now that I'm back on the platform, I'm just going to focus on not necessarily mental health or anything like that, but just like mental prosperity, which is why I changed the YouTube platform from I Am CEO Will, which is my Instagram handle, to Create Every Outcome, which is CEO, my brand that we normally know as Chief Executive Officer, to Create Every Outcome, which is what you're seeing at the bottom of this YouTube channel. I might change it. I don't know. I'm allowing God to just take me on this journey, and I pray and I hope that you guys go on this journey with me and you guys stay on this journey with me, and you guys allow me to give you information as I grow. Mind you, I'm not a pro. I just care, and I just want to get on this platform and find like-minded people that's going to care along with me. I might have people on this platform with me that's going to be sharing information with you guys. I have no idea. I know a lot of cool people that's in the digital space that has been pulling me to create this video. I don't know. Whatever God tells me to do is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to grow, man, and just share. So majority of this content is just going to be prosperity, positivity, fixing pretty much what's going on in here, man, and giving yourself, your powers back, essentially, because we're all superheroes internally. But our power is in our mind, right? Our conscious mind and most importantly, our subconscious mind and our belief system, rather that's abundant or limited. We have powers that can really shape the universe in our favor, but we got to believe it. And at some point in my life, I started believing that. And then when I started believing that, that's when God started changing for me. I stopped living the same. I started letting go of the frequency of struggle, because I'm like, okay, this could happen to me. Even though I don't see anyone around me that's doing this right now, right? I believe that I can go places in life if I just believe, right? The word belief is so powerful that we're not really breaking it down. And there's so much more that I'm learning that I was already doing naturally in life, that I'm learning through vibration, frequency, manifesting, working on your subconscious mind, unlearning bad behaviors and learning new behaviors that help you become a better father, help you become a better husband or wife, help you become a better parent, so on and so forth, business person, so on and so forth. So my main objective is just for anybody that comes on my platform is just to succeed. I want you to be successful. I care about your success. I believe that everybody on earth deserves to have a piece of God's prosperity that he has in store for them, whatever that is. So I'm gonna get on this platform and I'm going to create, and I want to motivate you to create whatever that looks like. I am your support system. Write me, you can write me on Instagram. I am CEO Will. I am a normal, regular person. I am not a super YouTuber who has this hidden knowledge, although I may do have hidden knowledge, like I said, there's a lot of things that I was doing naturally within myself that as I started listening to audiobooks and started reading books and basically being intentional with the content that I'm consuming, I started realizing that what I was doing naturally, there's a science to it, right? Starting with God and starting, embodying him in your spirit and changing your platform, and then everything else falling in line. So I'm not going to waste too much more time, man. I'm just going to freestyle. So this is my first video back. So I hope that you guys appreciate what I have to say today. And everything I'm going to say today is 100% from my heart. This is just what I believe. There's not going to be a book behind this. There's not going to be anything behind this, but what I've learned on my journey and how I view the world. And I might be wrong. You might have a difference of opinion. Don't judge me. Question me. Let's talk about it. Let's help each other grow. Because at the end of the day, when all this is over, right? When our last day comes, right? Whatever we left here on earth, as far as our dream is concerned, as far as our legacy is concerned, that's it. There is nothing beyond that point. So while we're here, let's just leverage one another. Let's use one another to elevate to that next level, so that we're all on this platform or any platform being creators and really waking up in our dreams and having, what you want outside, having a beautiful family, a beautiful lifestyle, being able to take care of your loved ones, starting with your immediate family if you have wife and kids or husband, kids, and then, growing to a higher level of taking care of, everyone else, your mothers or fathers-in-laws, your sisters-in-laws, your brothers-in-laws and their children, and so on and so forth. We all have the ability, man, and it's in our head, man, and I am a product of that. I'm not a billionaire. I'm not going to speak on if I made any millions or not, because people are watching, but boy, the people that know me and, that see my journey from where I was to where I'm at, they know I am living my life, and some days I don't even know how I got here. Some days I don't even feel like I deserve it. But I just believed in myself, man. I just knew that wherever I was at in life, man, that is not the end for me. God has something bigger for me. God has something in store for me. So I'm not gonna waste so much time. So, editing wise, man, it's not gonna be a super edited video neither, man. We just out here freestyling, man. And as I go, man, I'm probably gonna hire somebody. It is what it is, make my videos that much more raw, man. But it's not about the content, the way the content looks. It's about your message. And are you speaking from the heart? Are you speaking from your soul? Is this your true vibration? Because that's all people are going to feel. It don't matter what you say. You could say what you want into the world, right? But if it's not vibrating within you, if the swag is not within you, if the belief system is not within you, the world is not going to believe you. You're not going to believe me. So I'm not going to get on here and be scripted, at least not on this video. But eventually we're going to improve. So, you are addicted to the frequency of struggle. All right. I'm not here to disrespect nobody. I'm not here to say I'm better than nobody, this, that, and the third. But, if you're living your life and for whatever reason, things are just not going well, everything you tried, you're just failing, right? One, understand that it's a numbers game. Case closed, right? You're not going to win on every transaction you try to get involved in. I don't want to say life is like gambling, but for sure, life does reward the hustler. Life does reward the resilient person, but most importantly, life does reward the passionate person, the person that cares. If you're caring about what you're doing, and you keep on taking L's, you're not necessarily going through a struggle. You're just going through your journey, so that when you get to the end of where you're seeing yourself to be, it means that much more to you. At least that's how I see it. If there's other gurus out there that might explain it, a little bit more different than me, but that's how I see it. But you're addicted to the frequency of struggle. What does that mean to me? That means that you're out here and you are trying to make things shake. You're trying to make it. You're trying to start a YouTube channel. You're trying to start that t-shirt company. You're trying to save up to go back to school. You're trying to save up to go to school. You're trying to create space in your life, to go back and get your GED, or to get that brand new car, or to purchase or save up money to purchase that brand new home. And for whatever reason, something's holding you back. Every time you get close, something comes and chop you at the knees, kaboom, and bring you right back to where you were. And you don't understand why. The reason for that majority of the time is your frequency that you're operating at. The frequency that you're operating at. There is something that in your head that is in your spirit, that's on your soul, right? Demonic, or, a mental barrier, right? That is separating you from getting to that hump, right? I'm not gonna really challenge you on necessarily what that is, but what it was for me was the fact that I just had bad habits. I had a bad way of thinking, and to a certain degree, I had limited examples of that. There's questions that I was supposed to ask that I did not even know that I could ask. It's kind of like the billionaire looking at the millionaire, and it's just like, man, if only you knew what I knew, you wouldn't be busting your butt as hard in your business to be where I'm at. You'll be chilling. It's like the multi-millionaire looking at the poor guy who's busting his butt at his job, and looking at the poor guy like, man, if only you knew what I knew, you wouldn't even must be doing this right. You'd be printing money, right? Information, and the lack thereof information. So that's what it was for me, was just the lack thereof information. And once I started, reading my Bible and praying and getting closer to God, and holding on to my mom, who's a prayer warrior, who stayed on me, who never let me go, and keeping good people in my life who were operating at that vibration as well, that's when things started moving in my atmosphere. That's when I started separating myself from the limited mindset that I can't make it, or this is going to be too hard, right? My GPA isn't high enough. My SAT scores aren't strong enough. My ACT scores aren't strong enough. I started shaping that mindset my senior year in high school. If you ask anybody who went to high school with me, I went to Jones High School out of Orlando, Florida. Look it up. It is what it is, an inner city school. And my junior and senior year, I was on probation all the way up until I was 18 years old. I was a adjudicated felon for the same charge. Actually, close to, I caught my first charge when I was like 14 years old. It was a strong arm robbery. It was like the summer of 8th grade. I ended up doing something I wasn't supposed to do, and then I ended up getting caught, and I ended up getting blessed by just, getting probation, not going to like a juvenile program. And then after that, I was blessed, just people just finding themselves in my life, right? I was blessed to have a probation officer. His name is David Lovett. Shout out to Mr. David Lovett, who just so happened to be an alumni of my high school, and just so happened to be the probation officer of one of my older brothers. Also, I was raised Seventh-day Adventist. I'm not Seventh-day Adventist now. I've converted over to Christianity. Also, I was assigned a counselor. His name was Dr. Tony Shaw. He was Seventh-day Adventist. My mom was Seventh-day Adventist. People, right? The atmosphere just aligning itself with me to put people in my space to kind of help catapult me, right? Those people got in my life and they helped organize my life. They kept me on track. I had to go see them every week, and they helped change my perspective. David Lovett, he cared so much about me. He cared so much about my journeyman that he just made sure he was always available. He was always at my house. He was always at my school. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he was drug testing me and so on and so forth, man. But he took that extra time. He took the extra hour just to kind of sit down with me and help me think about things, right? Where I wanted to go at, where I wanted to be at, how far I wanted to go, how soon I wanted to get there. And, it started becoming real for me. Now, the frequency of struggle, even though he spent that extra hour with me out of 24 hours, that 1 hour is all he had to try to shape my life, right? But the rest of 23 hours, what was I doing? What was I focusing on? I was still in the streets. I still was outside. I still wanted to go hang out. I still wanted to be around my friends and stay in my comfort zone, right? I did not want to detach from my old self. Fast forward to I think my 10th grade year or 11th grade year, so on and so forth. Same situation, walking to school with my homeboy. I think I had probably a month left for probation. And I'm thinking it's sweet. I haven't been getting in trouble. Life is going good, so on and so forth. And I ended up doing the wrong thing again, right? I caught somebody at the bus stop, this, that, and third, and me and my homeboy, we ended up, doing the wrong thing or not making the best decisions, so on and so forth. And later on that day, they ended up catching us in school and pulled me out of the classroom and slammed me on my face. It took me, I'm laughing about it now because of just thinking about it was just so stupid. It just was so worth it back then, but now looking back, it's just I got nothing from this situation but a new charge, essentially. So now I'm in jail again, right? Juvenile detention, and I got 2 months of probation. I'm just super disappointed in myself. I realized that the whole time I was with, my probation officer and mentor, to a certain degree, I was faking it, I was faking it almost. I got bold, not necessarily bold. I just, what they say, what comes to the dark what happens in the dark comes to life. That was pretty much my situation. I was with them and I was receiving what they was giving me. So I wasn't being fake. I was receiving what they was giving me, but I was still going home or back to my community or back to my school and still, showing out and not doing the right thing. So now I'm super embarrassed. I'm super disappointed because they had no clue. They were so proud of me. So now I had to face these men in my jumpsuit, orange jumpsuit, man. And I was more worried about having to face these men than getting in trouble or going back to jail or getting sent to a program. Cause I just felt like, man, they poured so much into me that it wasn't until that moment I realized, how ungrateful I was by even much allowing myself to even much engage into, what I allowed myself to get engaged, which is nobody's fault, 100% my fault, because it's a decision. And it was at that moment, man, where I felt like, if God was to help me get out of the situation, you know what I'm saying? Because of who these men were to me and how much these people cared about me, man, I would 100% change my life around. Straight up. And I remember it was yesterday, man, the first person that came and see me was Dr. Shaw. And he told me straight up, he was like, man, he wasn't mean to me, but his words were very cold. Like a father would be very disappointed in his son. You got to take accountability. I mean, you're here now, you got to take accountability. So whatever happens, of course, it's going to happen, man. I care about you, but I wish you the best of luck. Doom. My heart fell down to my butt because I'm just like, man, it wasn't warm. It wasn't who he naturally was with me for all these years up until now. And I knew it hurt him just as much as it hurt me. If not, it hurt him more because he was just so proud of me. And then, my other probation officer, Mr. Lovett, he came to see me as well, just to kind of like give me a rundown of what's going to happen next. And he basically let me know, like, man, he wasn't mean to me neither, but he was hurt. I could see it in his eyes that he was hurt. He couldn't even look me in my face, like he was so hurt. Like it was deeper than just a probationary, like excuse me about the butcher. It was the relationship he had with me. It was different from his other probationary clients that he had before in the past. Like he really believed that I was going to make it, or like he really believed that the system was doing me justice, if that makes sense. Like you know how some people like you have so much faith in something, but you see the cycle happen so many times that you kind of like start losing faith, that you just think that you start looking at everything like a number, like, oh, this person's just gonna whatever. So even though that's your job, but that's what you've committed your life to, you just kind of like treat like everything else. You could tell that he did not look at me that way. Like he genuinely believed that that I was going to be the one that was going to overcome my circumstances and make my mom proud and show my brothers that it's possible to make it out. Because at this point, my brothers was already in prison, doing whatever they was doing with their life, and they went to prison early, like 14, 15, 16 years old. And he just let him know, like, most likely, what's going to happen, I could either be in a direct file situation where pretty much I could get charged as an adult, or, I'm gonna end up probably going to a juvenile prison. They don't know what level we at, but, it could be a 6, which is 6 months. It could be a level 8, which is 8 months to a year, but they don't know because it's another felony. Wow. It was another felony. And it did not hit me until he said that, like, it's another felony. Like, like they could take, it depends on how the judge is going to feel. But he brought up no other options to me. It was like direct file to get sent to a county jail to, potentially either get bonded out and face time through as an adult, or worse, go to prison, or juvenile prison. Nothing else. So that conversation lasted all of like, it felt like 2 seconds. And it felt like I lost 2 fathers in one day. You know what I'm saying? It was challenging. And fast forward, court gets here, and my name begins with a W, and I forget my it was alphabetical order, so I was like one of like the last people to go. So people were literally like, the judge, I have forgot the name of the judge. That judge literally was sending everybody to prison, or not prison, everybody to a program, or everybody to direct file. I mean, for like misdemeanors, like not felonies, right? So I'm watching every single, mind you, it's alphabetical order. So my first name begins with a W. So I'm one of like the last people to go. And in the juvenile courtroom, there's like this area where all the detainees go. They don't bring you out one by one into they don't bring you out one by one. That's my daughter downstairs. They don't bring you out one by one. They bring you all out at one time. And in that process, you know what I'm saying? You're just watching everybody else get into their situation. So it was like program, prison, direct file. And I'm last with a felony, my second one, and I'm on probation. In that moment, I accepted my fate. Nobody in that moment could tell me that the worst wasn't going to happen to me. Stand in front of the judge, and the judge says my name, and Dr. Shaw stands up and say, I recommend probation until he's 18. And the judge approved it. Hold on, guys, I'm about to pause this real quick. But Dr. Shaw stood up. Mind you, he wasn't mean to me or anything like that, but he just, you could tell it was like it was cold. Like the last time we spoke was kind of like cold and distant a little bit. And he stood up, and Mr. Lovett stood up and said, Your Honor, before you make your decision on this young man, we really do believe that the system, mind you, and Mr. Lovett had another probation like another kid that was up under his guidance that he did not say anything for, for a lesser charge. Like, and he stood up for me. Him and Dr. Shaw stood up for me and said, hey, we believe that the system failed this kid, and we believe that we can still help this kid, grow and do good things in life, make a graduation and go play football and go to college, so on and so forth. And Dr. Shaw, stood up. He didn't say anything. Only say, because the judge asked, the judge asked them, did they have anything that they wanted to say before she got into it, or I forget. And they stood up, and Mr. Levis said that, and then Dr. Shaw said, based off everything and our assessment of this kid, we recommend probation. We really believe that, with more guidance and supervision, that this young man has a shot. Mind you, my mom was pissed off. That's just how my mom was, bro. Like, she was pissed off. She didn't even show up to my court date because she was disappointed. You know what I'm saying? And my dad was like, I think my dad was there, but everything was so fast and it was a blur, man. Long story short, man, I had a lot of people upset. You know what I'm saying? And the judge, Dr. Shaw gave his recommendation, probation, until he's 18. And the judge looked down and, was doing whatever the judge was doing at the time and processing whatever he was processing. And he looked up and he said, okay. I was so shocked that I didn't want to say anything I didn't even want to look up at the judge so the judge could possibly see something that he didn't like in me and change his mind. You understand what I'm saying? And that happened, and and I went back to sit down, and fast forward, went to the back, and they came and spoke to me and let me know, like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? When I look at you, I see something in you. I believe that, that you want more for yourself, and I think that, you know what I'm saying, that this chance that I'm about to give you, that you're genuinely going to make something of it, and the judge did not have to say yes. I don't want you to 100% believe that it was 100% us. The judge could have said no. So I just want you to know that the stars aligned for you today, and you need to take this opportunity, and then you need to do something with this. Man, listen, when that happened, I was like, not necessarily I was a changed man, but more so because somebody like spoke that into me. It allowed me to believe that, that the frequency that I was operating at, the struggle frequency that I was operating at, and just doing things, I don't even remember what I took from these people that I took something from, right? That there was more for me, that there was more to give myself, and there was more to give my family and in my life, and so on and so forth, man. So fast forward, I ended up getting out of that situation. I ended up transferring schools, and I'm going back to public school because, whatever, and which was Jones High School. And I was locked in. I was focused every single day. And I mean, you couldn't find me in the hallway. I didn't care about, and people that went to high school with me, they could vouch for this. I didn't care about a girl. I didn't care about clothes or swag or anything like that. I didn't care about money. I didn't care about going to not nan party. I didn't care. I just wanted to make it because I believed that I could make it somebody else put that frequency within me, and then ultimately I believed it within myself. And sports was my way out. And I had no scholarship, I had no grades, so on and so forth. And fast forward, man, in the running track my senior year, man, my homie, he was like the fastest guy in the nation at the time, him and his cousin, but we was in two different classifications, his cousin was. But he was already committed, so on and so forth, and he ended up not running 100. And he looked at me, he said, Kermit, shout out to my dog Kermit. He was just like, bro, go take it. Man, I went out there, bro. I had no intentions of winning. No intentions of winning. I put in all this effort. I did everything my coach told me to do. I went in, I studied, I busted my butt. I played both sides of the field of football, offensive, defense, and special teams. I never got off. When I say special teams, punt return, kick return, I wasn't a scrub. Offense, I was receiver, running back. Defense, I was linebacker. Every now and then, they threw me at safety, you know what I'm saying? But majority of the time, I was linebacker. And I was busted. I mean, at the end of every single game, everybody else's jersey was orange. My jersey was black. Anybody that went to high school with me can vouch for this. This was no game. I did not get off the field. You talking about some Travis Hunter? I wanted it so bad, I refused to get off the field. Refused. And I still didn't have an offer. Senior year, go out, run track. I had a good junior year season, you know what I'm saying? Go out, states come, and I have no intention of winning. I just want to go out there and compete. You know, I'm nervous. You know, I'm ready to goddamn on poop on myself. And I go out there and I win in 100 meters. And I started off losing. And walk across that finish line, man, and literally like a week, like 2-3 days later, I get a call from, you know, Florida International University, from a coach, you know what I'm saying? He's not there anymore, but they were just going through a coaching change, and they offered me right on the spot. At that moment, right, I was not on any school's radar. What ended up happening was because I put in so much effort, because I put in so much time, because I believed that I could make it out so much. I mean, no scholarship, I was going on no visits. I just knew that this was not going to belong to me anymore. This was not going to belong to me anymore. I'm throwing this away today in Jesus' name. You know what I'm saying? My coach at the time, Kennard Lang, ended up getting a call from one of the newer coaches at Florida National University, who was just looking for athletes. He said my name. W's in the chat. I wish I was streaming right now. My coach said my name. He said my name. Out of all the players that probably deserved it more, that was at my high school for all 4 years, I was only there 2 years because I was expelled from public school. He said my name, and I got a scholarship, full ride. I'm on a plane, like, I couldn't believe it, like, headed down to Miami, going on my visit, and I'm so scared because I just, frequency wise, I felt like I didn't belong here, like I wasn't good enough to be here, and they offered me. From that moment forward, you couldn't tell me that, you could not tell me that belief was not possible. You couldn't tell me that. And I took that with me. I went on to play college ball, you know what I'm saying? I ended up getting injured, hurt my head, this, that, and third. And because I already experienced and I already embodied that, man, God can create bigger things for me. Even though I got hurt, you know, I had a back concussion that ended up leading to a seizure. Man, it was not over for me in my head. You couldn't tell me that. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. You could not tell me that I was not going to leave here and make just as much money as I would have made if I would have went to the NFL. Straight up. So I graduated. I went through my adversity. We'll talk about it in a different video. I went through my adversity in college. My real ones know, you know what I'm saying? The real ones, 322. You know, people that was with me every single day when I was on that college campus, they know. And I graduated, man, and I just did not give up on myself, and I just continued to work hard, man. I continued to stay consistent. You know, I ended up having a daughter at the time, man, and that young lady fueled me. You know, although, you know, it was a situation with that as well. That young lady fueled me so much to just be better than just in the simplest form. That young lady fueled me to be the best version of myself that I could possibly be, man. And I went and I cared. I worked. I went and got a job. I took care of her financially. I paid. You know, I was on child support. I paid for that, so on and so forth. And I'm working a 9-to-5, working a dealership at the time, and I didn't care, so on and so forth. But, you know, coming back home and, you know, going back to my parents' house for a little bit, and that relationship ended up sliding, and I ended up finding social media, I ended up finding e-commerce, I ended up meeting friends, I got into the drop shipping space. You know what I'm saying? I ended up having one good month in the card game, and in that good month in the card game, I put that into a drop shipping store. This is when fidget spinners was out. W's in the chat. I made $40,000. Never told my family that. They're gonna know about that. I made 40 racks, profit mines. This is where fidget spinners just became the thing. Hoverboards wasn't out yet. I got a piece of that pie. Now my belief system, boom. Now this word right here, I don't even know this word. Me and this word we're not even cousins. We're not even friends anymore. I'm like, yo, I could do this. If I could make 40, I could make 100. If I could make $1 million. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's just not me trying to tell myself these things, right? In my conscious mind. Now my subconscious mind is evolved. My belief system is evolved. I know I could do this. I ended up getting in the social media game, ended up finding out some people that have some really deep knowledge in the social media game. I ended up figuring out like YouTube and streaming and stuff and so on and so forth. And ended up like meeting like rappers and so on and so forth. Man, I went on a run. I got into the public speaking space a little bit, you know, so that's what I was passionate about. But behind closed doors, man, it was just some things that was happening to me that I couldn't explain. Which fast forward and catapulted me to where I'm at right now, man. At some point, I'm probably gonna show you my house and show you my girl, show you my kids and everything that I accomplished. But I'm sitting inside my movie room right now, homie. W's in the chat. You know, veneer teeth, pretty white smile. You know what I'm saying? My brand around my neck. And I'm not flexing on you. I'm just letting you know, bro, I come from Silver Star, the west side of Orlando, homie. Like, straight up. Anybody who know me from my area. You know, I wasn't the best kid. I wasn't the worst kid. But I was outside at a point in time in my life. You dig what I'm saying? Like, fighting every day. Like, I was known for, you know, putting my hands on people, stomping people out and so on and so forth. Stuff I'm not proud of, but this is real stuff. This is my story. This was part of my journey. And I overcame all that. So what is my message to you, right? Things aren't going right in your life. You know what I'm saying? So what do you do when things aren't going right and you know that there's more out there for you, man? First and foremost, man, you gotta pray. You know, whatever you believe in, man, if you don't believe in anything, man, I don't really know how to help you. All that I can say is stay grounded. If you don't believe in a God, I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I accepted him into my heart like my senior year in high school, right? And my life has been on an up and up ever since then. And that does not mean I did not make mistakes. I made terrible mistakes when I was in early. I made terrible mistakes, terrible decisions, things that should have landed me in jail, truth be told. You know what I'm saying? But Jesus did not come on earth and sit with the perfect people, the mighty people, the prideful people, the people that made no mistakes. Jesus went to the hood. Jesus hung out with the murderers, the prostitutes, the adulterers, the gamblers, the thieves. And he said amongst them not to align with them, basically saying like doing what they did, but let them know that I don't think that I'm better than you. W's in the chat. And I took that to heart. And I take that to heart now. And mind you, I'm not going to go here and just, rip off a whole bunch of Bible verses for you guys. Eventually I will do that. And whatever my heart is feeling, that's what I'm going to do on my platform. If you don't like it, just unsubscribe. But if you rock with it, subscribe. As a matter of fact, hit the subscribe button right now if you've been on this video this long. But whatever you're going through right now in life, if you just genuinely believe from the bottom of your heart that something is out there for you that is like bigger than you, it's going to happen. Because you already overcame the hardest step, the belief system. You believe it. How do you get there? You gotta stay grounded. You gotta find something to hold on to in terms of gratitude is concerned. You gotta thank God for the roof over your head as frequently as you can. You gotta thank God for the AC. You gotta find the smallest and the most pettiest things to just be grateful for and thankful for, and allow that to just ground you and keep you away from your future and keep you away from your past and stay in the moment and continue just to believe. You got to find like-minded people that care, even if it's not in real world, man. There is so much technology out here, man. You can make a friend with somebody that you never met before. It could be YouTube. It could be this video right here. It could be people that you meet in the comment section. And find those people, and find that support system. Therapy, counseling, going to church, if you don't believe in anything, speaking highly to yourself, finding other like-minded people who just want to just in better stuff. Stick to your passion, stay away from just doing things for money unless it's to fuel what you're doing right now. Do the right thing, That's not always going to be your reality. Sometimes you got to go to war out here. It is what it is. And that's completely understandable. I understand that. Sometimes you got to go to war out here, to protect what you got going on. Because some people are going to try to take it from you because they feel like you don't deserve it. But these are the little things that you got to do in your life, in your world, to stay away from this frequency, to level up your vibration. Remember, it's not what you keep on telling yourself in your head, right? It don't matter if you keep on saying positive stuff every single day. If you don't believe it in the back of your mind and your subconscious mind, it's not going to happen. W's in the chat. It's not going to happen, homie. And people ask me, okay, how come I'm still a first responder and so on and so forth, which is, a firefighter. It's because I'm grateful. When I didn't have anything, or when my journey was, still at the growing phase, man, there was people in this process that cared about me, that helped me, get through whatever I was going through at the time, that I don't want to let down. I feel like when I'm out in the world, as a firefighter, I'm still doing the Lord's work. It don't matter how much money I'm making. It don't matter. And I don't flex on people. You know what I'm saying? I don't like, people don't even know what I got going on social media unless they know me personally in the fire service. You feel what I'm saying? You know, if you find me on social media, just find me on social media. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very humble person. The way I can be flexing, like some of my homeboys, like I could go out here and buy Lambos and this and that. I don't do that. I don't need it. I got me a cool truck, got me a cool boat. I'm chilling. A cool house. I'm chilling. You know, I put my bread up. I save my bread because, you know, I know how it feels to go without, and I invest my money and I just chill. So that's all I really got for you guys today, man. I genuinely hope and believe that, you know, you guys got something from this video. I know it wasn't like a crazy teaching. I know it wasn't like this big old just thing of just information, but spiritually, I hope that we align on this video that you know that I'm here for you. I'm just growing. You know, there's a lot of things that I've been doing naturally within myself that I'm learning right now in scripture and, you know, through educating myself and, you know, about the frequency and positivity and, you know, and affirmations and stuff like that. And as I'm learning, as I'm becoming more a pro with this information, I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm not gonna give it to you, you know, with the understanding that I don't believe in it. If it's on this platform, I believe this from the bottom of my heart. And I believe from the bottom of my heart that God wants something good for you, W's in the chat. God wants you to win. God wants you to succeed. He wants you to overcome situation. He wants you to take care of your family abundantly. He wants you to take care of yourself abundantly. He wants you to take care of your kids. He wants your kids to go to private school and that you're paying for them. He wants you to be able to get to the point in your life where you take care of your family kids, take care of your extended family. You're sending money out. You're building schools. You're building business. God wants great things for you. The universe wants great things for you. You got to accept that in your heart. You got to accept it in your heart that the world wants you to succeed, you know? And that's the only way it's going to happen. And it's okay if you don't accept it, man. It's baby steps that you can take, man. But ultimately, man, the world will give you what you scream at it. You know, if you scream prosperity, if you scream good, if you scream abundance, man, the world will give that to you if you just accept that in your heart and you believe that you deserve it. Forget if you don't know how you're going to get there. Do you believe that you deserve it? And question yourself and ask yourself, why do I deserve it? Is just for my own selfish gain, or is there people that want to take along this ride with me? So that's all I got for you guys today. Today was a freestyle video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. And that's all I got for today, man. Gone.